Hello and welcome to RFS. I am Joel Spieth, the General Manager of the IBM Cloud for Financial Services, and I have the good fortune of being with Bala today, the Chief Technology Officer of Zafin, an ecosystem partner at IBM. And I wanted to learn from Bala more about modernization. So Bala, can you tell us a little bit about Zafin and how Zafin helps companies modernize their core operations?
Certainly, and thank you, Joel, for having me here with you today. Zafin is a software as a service provider for product and pricing. We provide a platform that some of the world's top tier banks use and gives them the ability to offer exceptional client experiences through agility and also limitless product and pricing flexibility. Our cloud native platform separates to externalize product and pricing from core systems so that we can de-risk and accelerate progressive modernization that these financial institutions seek to undertake. And thereby it enables digital transformation and gives them personalization at a relationship level. Now, to put that in perspective, what our platform does is it comprises of what we call a product master, where we provide extensive banking products that a bank can take and leverage to externalize their product. In addition, we give them pricing control that allows for internal and external compliance to happen. And this product and pricing control comes in the form of rates and fees that they can set and gives them the ability to compute and substantiate pricing across lending, deposit, FX, and fee products. And we also give the capability for offers and rewards to happen. And these are multi-product offers that span the different core systems that these banks have. Interestingly, as these banks seek to modernize these systems, what we are finding that helps is the whole aspect of externalization. If the bank seeks to externalize their product and pricing initially, then it completely eliminates all of the changes that goes into product and pricing into their core systems and thereby speeds up that modernization product while de-risking it. Those are some of the key benefits that we bring to our client through the type of product and product portfolio we bring to the marketplace.
That's great. And your journey hasn't been met without challenges. So what are some of the challenges you have faced and the challenges your customers have faced as they've been on this journey of modernization?
That's a really good question. I'll begin with some of the challenges I see coming from our customers and then shift to what we see ourselves. At this point in time, we are going through an interesting period. Now, over the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen dramatic shifts in terms of adoption of digital and the speed at which innovation comes into the marketplace. Now, even though this has been going on for almost the past decade or so, what we saw happen last year with COVID-19 certainly accelerated it significantly. And it's in fact pushed customers to increasing their usage of digital channels in order to keep themselves and their families safe during periods of lockdown and other periods as well. Now, while this shift has been positive for banks, predominantly ones that have been trying to move clients to these type of channels for a while now, it's also causing extreme volatility in terms of the channel usage by some of these customers. And as a consequence, there's dramatic transaction volume increases as well as demand for newer and more interesting type of products. In addition to all this, we're also seeing some of our banking clients making fundamental changes to their operating models. And some of this is what we've ourselves at Zafin and others have experienced in terms of having employees work from home on a more permanent basis. And in terms of bank branches, adjusting the size of their network where traffic has decreased, and this allows them to operate more efficiently. But bottom line is it puts an dramatic emphasis on this whole aspect of digital transformation. Now, having said all this, what this acceleration means for the technology that the banks use is that not all legacy systems are created equal. And therefore, not all have the type of resiliency needed to handle these challenges. So we are seeing many of these institutions monitoring their entire businesses very closely, particularly their technology and their use of technology as it's coming under strain and is also fairly slow and expensive to make changes. It's interesting, Joel. One bank executive told me that their rule of nines, as they called it, takes them roughly $9 million and 9 months to make a simple change to just their product and pricing. Now, I talked a little bit about the challenges our customers are facing. Let me also talk a little bit about challenge that Zafin faced in this marketplace. We were very early to define externalization as a key enabler of this core modernization. We are among the first to do this. So it took us a number of proof points to validate that, as well as now establish it, that it is the most optimal path to core modernization. And if that weren't enough, we also decided we would extend our value proposition to encompass much more of an end-to-end view of what it takes to bring a bank product to the market. This is all the way from ideation to governance to creation of the product itself, to its distribution and control, to execution, then servicing it and monitoring it, all of these. And while doing all that, we seek adjacencies in each of these as well. So in short, we've not just created this externalization of product and pricing, but as we created it, we also saw that we need to reintegrate it into some of the existing as well as the new core processes that these banks are doing. And so we spent a lot of time last year working with IBM on a dramatically simpler reintegration with IBM Z Digital Integration Hub, and also enabled streaming-based integration patterns so that we can do real-time and near real-time. So a lot of these changes that our customers are seeing as issues and challenges are what we are rising together to meet with our partners like IBM.
That's great. And as these banks or financial services institutions are trying to modernize their core, are you seeing a lot of challenge with cyber and regulatory challenges as they move from on-premise to cloud? And specifically, what are they looking for with on-premise versus cloud deployments?
That's actually very interesting because I was at an IBM event a few days ago, and during that event, they talked about the fact that only 16% of financial services workloads are being moved to the cloud. And so it affords us a massive opportunity. Now, the needs for these institutions as they shift their applications and data to a cloud are actually vary by the type of institutions. But irrespective, what they all seek are this business agility and the speed to which that move can happen. In doing this shift to the cloud, they're also seeking the ability to break down these silos and create a more unified experience for their customers. Now, while doing it, if it can be done with open source components to build and support this rapid innovation and ideation through creation, then that makes it easier to source for the banks themselves in terms of talent, talent meaning people, as well as capabilities that exist in terms of options for solution creation. Finally, this whole notion of open hybrid cloud, that is extending the bank's data center itself to the cloud, gives them tremendous capability that they wouldn't get otherwise if they just stayed on-prem. So these, in short, are some of the things that they seek in addition to the uniqueness that come with each of the banks.
That is great, Bella. That is exactly the kind of thing that I'm hearing from all of our customers at IBM, and exactly at the root of why we've created the IBM Cloud for Financial Services is to stand up to some of those challenges. So exploring a little bit here, um, what are the attributes needed from the platform that underlies the Zafin application in terms of security, privacy, compliance, and why did Zafin choose IBM Financial Services Cloud to deliver these attributes?
The typical financial institutions that we work with at Zafin are constantly striving to be far more innovative than they are today. But at the same time, they also recognize that they need to meet their compliance obligations. And, and over the past 5-6 years, increasingly their security. So security is no longer an afterthought. It needs to be embedded in anything and everything that they do. Now, while our engineers at Zafin have started to abstract a lot of the non-functional requirements that span our product portfolio into our own platform, we also recognize that there are other attributes that are probably best served by having an underlying cloud platform that enhances these attributes. So in short, it's not just financial institutions along with the ISVs like and SaaS providers like Zafin that service this industry that need that secure framework, but we need it, including for the bank's customers, to instill trust and confidence so that these institutions can move their workloads and applications to the private cloud. Now, you asked some specifics in terms of, besides the security and compliance that these banks seek, what are some of those specifics? Now, as I said, security and compliance are really not afterthoughts. They need to be built into the platform. And in addition, the policies and controls that are required to meet these obligations are also extremely important. And those are things that we saw built into the FS Cloud. Today, I operate at Zafin a SOC 2 controlled environment. And we go through periodic certifications, as you know, to keeping that alive for our customers. What we get with the FS Cloud are those controls that are embedded. So it makes it a far easier process to go ahead with those type of certifications. In addition, it also enables a complete control of data encryption and security, including things like keep your own keys, very strong container security, and geofencing that comes with hardware-based attestation, as well as what I think is extremely important, which is the control of the entire cloud stack. So those and a number of attributes are precisely what our clients are seeking as well, which are best suited by having them enabled in a cloud stack such as the IBM's FS Cloud.
Bala, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate this discussion. And you did a great job of talking about the challenges of modernization for both your customers and for Zafin. So thank you a great deal.
Thank you very much, Joel. My sincere thanks to you as well as to IBM for affording us the opportunity to present our solutions and capabilities.
Oh, absolutely, Bala. Thank you so much. It's great to have Zafin as a partner, and I appreciated the conversation. Okay, now back over to RFS for the rest of the event.